Hola, and welcome to Spanish Answers, a podcast that gives you unas llavitas claves as you unlock your Spanish language adventure. I'm your host, Sarah with Language Answers, and today in episode 92, we are going to do a song sampler. So it's been a while since we did one. Episode 54, song sampler number 3, the unique dance styles of Spanish music, to be exact. And for our special episode today, we'll look at a list of 13 songs that are either in Spanish, Spanglish, or have a multitude of languages, including, of course, English and Spanish. This is a podcast about Spanish, after all. Now, since this is a special episode and music is a cultural thing, we won't have a cultural tip today. Next episode, though, we shall start a new cultural tip series on Paraguay. Entonces, empecemos! Just a heads up, it was raining while I was recording this, so if you hear something that seems a little off, it's probably just the rain. My apologies, but it is what it is. I only have so much of a child-free window, so I apologize if it's super distracting. I hopefully won't have this issue next week, or in 2 weeks, but please bear with me and thank you for your patience. So let's begin first with songs that are just in Spanish. Here are 4 songs that are sung in Spanish, or Spanish and a language other than English, and 2 of these songs also have English versions, and 1 a French version. So the first one is La Llorona from Disney's Coco. Of course, this song doesn't have an English version, but you can find the English translation, and I will include a link to the one that I found in the show notes. I love this song. It has so many great elements, great vocals, haunting melody, and it is steeped in the Mexican folklore of La Llorona, the terrifying ghost of a weeping woman who mourns the children she drowned. Disney did such a great job with this movie. The second song is Aún Existe Amor by Celine Dion. Did you know she could sing in Spanish? I didn't know she could sing in Spanish. I mean, do you ever ignore a singer because everyone knows her to the point where it just seems like surely it must be all hype? That's how I felt about Celine Dion before this episode. Sure, I have enjoyed some of her songs, but is there really anything that sets her apart from any other superstar? And I have discovered with Celine, the answer is yes, her amazing linguistic range. She has sung in 9 languages: French, English, Spanish, German, Latin, Neapolitan, Italian, Japanese, and Chinese. You can see a compilation of 7 of these examples in the link I've included in the show notes, as well as one of her singing in Chinese in another. Needless to say, my respect for her has skyrocketed. Now, for this episode, I wanted to highlight the Spanish version of her French song, L'amour existe encore. I don't know if I said that correctly, but moving on. It's a very sweet and pretty song. It is also pretty simple, so it would be an easy song to learn in Spanish. Our third song is Así Soy by Maite Perroni, which is the Spanish version of This Is Me from Disney's The Greatest Showman. I love almost all of the songs in Disney's The Greatest Showman, and This Is Me is definitely a rockin', emotion-bursting, strength-infusing song. So I was delighted when I learned about this Spanish version done by Maite Perroni. It's definitely a bit more tricky than Celine Dion's song, at least in terms of lyrics and memorization, but totally worth it. I also found a cover by Gret Rocha, that Mexican voice teacher I mentioned in a previous episode. Now, number 4 is Waka Waka, Esto es Rica by Shakira. I first heard this song in Spain while watching a murder mystery play. It was a really cool play. The audience voted at the end to determine who the murderer was. But at the beginning, while they were getting set up and had the actors and actresses moving around on stage, they played this song and I just had to look it up. It is such a fun, rhythmic song, and it has multiple languages. I think it's in Spanish and Xhosa, but it was very hard to track down, so if you know what the other language is, please tell me. And of course, there's also an English version. Now, let's move on to these next 4 songs, which highlight a growing trend in music that I absolutely love, which is mixing it up with Spanish and English lyrics, aka Spanglish. So, number 5 on our list is Stand By Me, also the first in this group, right? But number 5 is Stand By Me, and it's a remake by Prince Royce. I mean, who doesn't love the original version of the song by Ben E. King? Although, truthfully, my favorite version may be the Disney one with Timon and Pumbaa. That being said, this song is a classic, and it is so cool to have a version with Spanish and English. Number 6 is Forever After All by Kat and Alex. This is a country music duo, and I mean country music in Spanish? Yes, please. I can't tell you how delighted I am to have found this band. And this is such a sweet love song about how time affects all things, but their love is going to last. And they have more songs in Spanish, English, and Spanglish, so check them out. Number 7, Let the Heavens Open, Que se abra el cielo, by Christine DiClario, and featuring Deborah Hong. Now, while it was hard to find songs in Spanglish that weren't glorifying things I'd rather not glorify, there are also a lot of Christian worship songs in English and Spanish, and I am here for it. A lot of modern worship Christian music is pretty repetitive, with the idea being that you can meditate on what you're singing to God. And this also means it is easier to memorize. Plus, Christine DiClario has a lovely voice and is just fun to listen to. Number 8 is a cover of Lauren Daigle's song You Say by, I don't know if I'm going to mess up her name, but Jada Facer, and featuring Jeff Kaylor. Now, I love Lauren Daigle's voice, and her song You Say is such a great reminder during hard times or moments of doubt about God's amazing love and every individual's inherent worth. Jada, who does this cover, has a lovely voice, as does Jeff Kaylor, and this song already touches my heart, but to have a Spanglish version just makes the world that much brighter. Now, the next 5 songs are multilingual songs, and yes, many of them are Disney ones, but don't let that diminish your enjoyment of them. These songs all have English and Spanish in them, but they also have at least one other language involved. So, the number 9, aka the first in this new grouping, is Raise a Hallelujah / Levanto un Aleluya, and it's a cover song by Faro Church with ASL. So, continuing on with the worship songs, obviously, I found this lovely Spanglish version of Raise a Hallelujah. The reason it is included here in this grouping, though, is because it has an ASL cover. I am a huge fan of ASL, especially with teaching babies ASL. Don't even get me started. I did a whole speech for that at the Woman Language Conference about, I think it was 2 years ago. All of that to say, you can be sure I'm going to watch this song many more times. Number 10. LOVE by Nat King Cole. I included this song because, frankly, I can't believe that it exists. But yes, Nat King Cole made a multilingual version of Love, LOVE, and while his accent leaves a lot to be desired, it is still so endearing that he tried. I love it. Number 11, the Let It Go 25 Languages version from Disney's Frozen. I don't know about you, but I was absolutely obsessed with this version of the song when it came out. And my husband actually bought me the CD for my birthday one year of all, I think, like 27 linguistic versions of Let It Go. And I was so happy when Disney actually put together a version of all of them, like, that you could buy and download. So I, yes, was obsessed with this version. But I love that this video, which I've included a link for, and of course have included links for all these videos in the show notes, but the video I've included for Let It Go includes the lyrics for the different languages as well as translations into English. It made it a lot easier to memorize. There's also a similar video / compilation for Disney's Frozen 2, Show Yourself, and I highly recommend checking it out. Number 12 is Surface Pressure, the 27 language version from Disney's Encanto. And while this video doesn't have all the great lyrics translations as the Frozen videos do, it is such a fun song that I wanted to include it. Encanto is another great Disney movie, and I love the songs from it. They also have a multilingual compilation for What Else Can I Do?, although the video isn't as good as Surface Pressure. And number 13, How Far I'll Go, the 24 language version from Disney's Moana. This video is just as good as the Frozen ones in terms of having lyrics and English translations. So if you love this song as much as I do, you've got the perfect tool right here to learn it. Also, for all of these Disney songs, I really recommend checking out their different Spanish versions, the Latin American or the Castilian, as they also are lovely and fun to listen to. Or memorize, take your pick. If you want more song samplers, you can also check out episodes 54, 40, and 20. Next episode, hopefully we can tackle some more grammar items and begin our cultural tip on Paraguay. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening, and don't forget to check out the show notes for links to the resources used and songs talked about for this episode. If you'd prefer to read an approximate transcription of today's episode, you can also visit the episode's blog. I would love to help you on your Spanish journey. So if you have any questions about today's episode, or even just on Spanish culture or grammar, you can reach me at contact@languageanswers.com or visit my website for more information. I can also be contacted regarding my services for Spanish to English translation, English technical writing, editing, and content creation, or even language consultations and tutoring for you or your business. Remember, learning a language is a lifelong journey. So please, aprovéchalo, disfrútalo, y compártelo. I will hopefully see you in 2 weeks. Hasta luego!